It's 7, our clock's off. Okay. Hi, everyone. We're on the air. It is the regular Housing Redevelopment Authority meeting of May 20th, 2024. Clearly, we're all in summer chatty mode, so 7 o'clock it is. So I'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with the open forum. Each speaker is to keep their comment period to 3 minutes to allow sufficient time for others. Comments are an opportunity to address the HRA. You can refer to the HRA agenda and minutes webpage for additional ways to submit comments. You can call into the open forum by dialing 1-415-655-0001 using webinar access code 26347249236, and the password is 1234. Seeing there is no one in the building for open forum, is there anyone online? Okay, well, if anyone does, always let us know. Taking us to our next item here, which is approval of the minutes of 1, the Joint Housing and Redevelopment Authority, the City Council and Planning Commission work session of April 15th, 2024, and 2, the regular Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting of April 15th, 2024. And unless there is objection, we'll do these together. Is there an approval of the minutes?
I move approval.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. All right. Agenda item number 1 is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Takes us to item number 2, the consent calendar. Executive Director Paleman.
Thank you, Chair Vries-Daniels, members of the board. The consent calendar can contain several separate items which are acted upon by the HRA in one motion. Once the consent calendar has been approved, the individual items and recommended actions have also been approved. No further action, HRA action on these items is necessary. However, any HRA commissioner may request that an item be removed from the consent calendar and placed on the regular agenda for HRA discussion and action. All items listed on the consent calendar are recommended for approval. The single item on your consent calendar tonight is consideration of the adoption of a resolution approving an assignment and assumption agreement and a subordination agreement for the Pines Senior Housing Development. That concludes tonight's consent calendar.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion for approval or a consideration to remove any item from the consent calendar?
I move approval of the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent calendar has been approved. Taking us to item number 4. This is to consider a resolution approving the execution and delivery of a donation agreement. I'll turn that over to Executive Director Paleman.
Thank you, Chair Vries-Daniels. I'm going to ask Economic Development Manager Jan Youngquist to present the staff report.
Good evening, Chair and HRA Commissioners. HRA staff and the representatives of the former Metro Sales property have developed and maintained an excellent working relationship over the years, and together have been exploring redevelopment opportunities for the properties located at 1600 to 1710 78th Street East. The properties consist of 3 tax lots. 2 are owned by the HRA and 1 is owned by the Mathwig Trust, which was established by the late Jerry Mathwig, former owner of Metro Sales. The HRA owns the property at 1710 78th Street East and accepted the donation of the property at 1600 78th Street East from the trust in 2021. The trust owns the property in between these 2 lots. It's one tax lot that has 2 buildings on it with the addresses of 1620 and 1640 78th Street. The buildings are vacant and were the former location of Metro Sales, which has since consolidated its operations to its Burnsville location. Trust has been supportive of the city and the HRA's vision to holistically redevelop the area and has been collaborative with HRA staff to explore redevelopment options. However, the current economic climate has made capital projects challenging and development has slowed. Meanwhile, the trust continues to have carrying costs for its buildings. With the uncertainty of when redevelopment may occur, the trust has generously offered to donate the property at 1620 and 1640 78th Street East, owned under Olin One LLC, donate it to the HRA rather than sell it on the private market. On April 15th of this year, the HRA approved a preliminary donation agreement directing staff to contract for the review of property title work and completion of a Phase 1 environmental site assessment. Staff and the HRA attorney have completed this review, and no unforeseen concerns have arisen. The HRA attorney has prepared the donation agreement that's in your packet. The agreement states that the closing would occur on or before June 15th, 2024, and the HRA would pay the 2024 property taxes prorated as of the closing date. Staff recommends that the HRA approve the agreement. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Great. Anybody have any questions?
So I'll move to approve the attached resolution approving the execution and delivery of a donation agreement with Olin One LLC.
And I will second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, concerns? Yes, go ahead.
I would just like to publicly thank the Mathwig family for making this donation, because it's very generous of them to donate this to the city of Richfield.
Agreed.
Go ahead.
I certainly share that thanks as well. I think this is a great deal, and I appreciate the generosity. I did have one question for staff, which is, so to be clear, it mentions paying the 2024 property taxes. Does the property become tax exempt while we hold it? And if so, do we make like a payment in lieu of taxes to the city, or is the city just out a little bit of money?
We will, as soon as after its closing, June 15th thereof, we will submit an application to Hennepin County to have it become tax exempt for the 2025 tax year. So we would pay for the property taxes from closing to the end of this year.
Okay. And do we make payment in lieu of taxes for properties? Okay, we do not.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'm excited to have these three properties together. I know we've kind of been marketing that way for a little bit, but I think like this generally probably makes things easier for some really good development opportunities in this area. So can you remind me when did we have a temporary agreement with the Velodrome people, and when does that expire?
We have an escrow agreement with them where they put money into escrow to pay for attorneys' fees. That agreement reads that if we don't have a preliminary development agreement approved by June 15th, then we can negate that agreement. As you know, the legislature did not pass a bonding bill this session, so we intend to have some conversations with the Minnesota Cycling Center, and then we can report back to you next month.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? All right, there is a motion for approval, and it has been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution passes. Item number 5, Executive Director Palman.
Thank you, and Assistant Director Julie Urban will present this staff report for you.
Thank you, Chair Rees-Daniels and members of the HRA. Woodlawn Terrace is a manufactured home community offering affordable homeownership opportunities and is located at 7421 Lindale Avenue South. In order to further promote affordable housing opportunities to low and moderate income buyers, the Housing and Redevelopment Authority has budgeted $60,000 for a Woodlawn Terrace Home Buyer Assistance Program to be administered by HRA staff. The Woodlawn Terrace Cooperative has partnered with HomeSource Incorporated, a licensed manufactured home dealer and real estate agency based in the Twin Cities metro area, to bring in approximately 21 new units that will be priced at between $80,000 and $100,000 each. This program will be aimed at households earning no more than 80% of the area median income and will provide no interest deferred loans of up to $15,000 to use towards the purchase of a new manufactured home in Woodlawn Terrace. The loans will be forgiven on a prorated basis over a 10-year period. Income limits and other eligibility requirements will apply. HRA staff in developing this program met with representatives from the Woodlawn Terrace Cooperative, HomeSource Inc., as well as North Country Cooperative Foundation to develop the program. The loan products available for manufactured homes are structured differently than single-family home mortgages. They usually have higher interest rates and shorter loan periods, which result in higher monthly payments than you would see for a traditional mortgage of an equal amount. In addition, homeowners have to pay a monthly rent to the cooperative that further adds to their price. This homeownership program will help ensure that monthly payments on the new homes being added into Woodlawn Terrace remain affordable for low and moderate income buyers. There are approximately, I'd say up to 13 potential units that or buyers of those units that could access this program. 5 units have already been sold, and we do have a grant from the Metropolitan Council that is helping to support 3 units. So that leaves approximately 13 left that we could potentially fund through this program. With that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I have a question. So we're budgeting 60,000, which is about 4 loans if we use the max of 15. Is that just for this year? Does that expire at the end of the year? Like, would we do this until we hit the 12?
So I would guess we will not get applications for 12. I would anticipate it is budgeted for this year, 2024. I would anticipate that we will probably put some additional money into it next year. We'll see how it goes, if we have takers, if the numbers work, and take it from there.
Thank you. All right, yes, go ahead.
So just to clarify, our down payment assistance that's used for traditional property, that does not apply here? Like, they could not do both?
Right, this would be, it's sort of a subset of that program, I would say, but because it's such a different animal, it's really a personal property loan that people are getting, and then this is an additional property loan. So it's not ideal. We have a lien against this unit, but it's a very different product that's needed, and so that's why we're creating separate guidelines.
So how does it work if they do move out before 10 years? Does that lien have to get transferred to the new owner? Do they have to pay back the amount?
If they would either have to pay back, although it's a prorated amount that gets forgiven $1,000 each year, or, sorry, in the usual program, it's nice, neat math that way, but under this program, it'll be slightly different at $15,000. But if they were to sell it to someone else who was an income qualified buyer, then we could let them assume the loan. Yes.
Is there a motion?
I had one additional question. I know we've been working, and you can report back next time if we don't know the answer now, with them to get like the utilities fixed up and all that kind of stuff. Has that been progressing?
It is progressing. The last I heard, they were poised to send plans over to Public Works to have those reviewed, and potentially starting this month. I haven't heard yet if Public Works has received the plans and has approved them, but they are very close. I believe the work that will begin first will be lining the sanitary sewer, and then they have to do some replacement of sanitary sewer as well, and then they'll get to the water replacement, but it should be completed this year.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion, one way or the other?
I move that we approve the program guidelines for Woodlawn Terrace Homebuyer Assistance Program.
I'll second that.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Any comments, further questions? I really have loved and appreciated this working relationship that we're having with Woodlawn Terrace. I think, as we've said over and over again, so many other cities are not embracing their manufactured homes, and I love how much our city is and really helping making this a really great place. I think it's should be followed by every other city, so it's fantastic. Great job, everyone. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion passes. Item number 6, HRA discussion items. Anybody have any HRA discussion items? Right. Seeing none.
I will say, if I could make one comment,
Yes,
I really appreciate, since I couldn't make the joint planning session, I really appreciated the playback and be able to listen to the discussion. And I was so disappointed I had COVID and I couldn't make it, but I figured you didn't all want the COVID that I had. And I wrote an email to staff that I had a whole bunch of questions about, well, why can't we do commercial on the first floor of this building? And instead of bombarding them with my questions, I did a bunch of research, and I've come around to the point where I think that first floor retail or commercial is really hard to do, if not almost impossible in many cases. So I just want you to know I really appreciated that whole conversation at that planning session, and I'm looking forward to making the next one when we have one.
Thank you. Yeah, I think as we have open meeting laws and can record these for everyone to come or anyone to listen to, it's fantastic. So I appreciate the technology that's being put into all of the meeting rooms too. Yeah. All right, item number 7, Executive Director's Report.
My only report was going to be on the lack of a bonding bill and the Minnesota Cycling Center's request. So we've already covered that. I don't have another report. Yes, was there a question?
Is that all bonding bills or just the cash bonding bill that went down?
There was no bonding
No
bill.
bonding of
There
any
was-
type?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Is that going to resurface? Is there another option, another opportunity in the future, or does it have to wait till next session?
For the cycling center?
Yeah.
They were really hoping to get some money from the legislature, and that would have to wait until next session. We'll check in with them and see how their fundraising efforts have gone and if they have other options. But I believe they really needed this initial funding to do some of the design work.
Do you know how much they were trying to get?
I believe the ask was for 10 million. Oh, sorry, 4 million.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Claims. Is there, item number 8 is claims. Is there a motion to approve claims?
I'll move to approve the claims.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, concerns? All right, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Claims have been approved. That takes us to adjournment. Thank you, everyone.